You are now tuned in to Live on Broadway podcast, the #1 relationship podcast in the world. So spicy.
We've been doing a lot. We've been covering a lot. We've been in the back. We've been in the trenches. We've been outside. We've been getting to it. Today will be like every other. You heard? Let's start this podcast off the right way. Because from where I'm viewing things, I'm seeing things looking funny in the light on the other side. I feel like they was telling lies, and all these lies is coming to surface. I really want to see justice held, and whoever did that shit needs to go to jail. Let's introduce this podcast. Mike. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway podcast, where the situations matter more than the relationships. Perspectives will be respected by everybody. I'm talking about, if this is your first time tapping in, don't be easily threatened or angered, because much like you, every giant here first started off as a perfect stranger. We ask everybody tap in and get in tune with what we doing on Live on Broadway podcast by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Also, share our YouTube channel as well, Broadway the Giant. Tap in and get in tune with what we doing. Please and thank you very much. Show your social currency by hitting that link and hitting that like button if you're on Clubhouse. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Throw that bell notification on as well. You get me? Shout out to the YouTube viewership, the Clubhouse viewership, the Instagram viewership, and also the Facebook viewership. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in with us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are available. You get me? I appreciate everybody tapping in. We've been covering and following this Meg and Tory situation since day one, and we're gonna continue to follow it tonight. We ain't gonna be up here too long because it's Friday, and I got places to go. I got people to see. You get me? So tonight's gonna be dope. I promise you. Day 5, Tory, Meg, lot going on. I'm gonna recap a little bit, and then I'm gonna fast forward and get into the meat and potatoes. We are joined by Clubhouse. We are joined by Instagram. If you are on Facebook, check us out, Facebook, Broadway the Giant. Tap in with us. I got the YouTube viewership. What up, Lolo? I see you, Queen. I definitely see you, Queen. Shout out to Terica. When Terica pull up, you know the vibes. So to understand where we going, you guys first got to understand where we came from. You get me? So what up, though, Angel? So let's just do that. Do a slight recap. Live on Broadway podcast. Check it out.
Case involving A-list celebrities took the stand again on Thursday. Kelsey Harris arrived at an LA courthouse Thursday morning to continue her testimony about the night rapper Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the foot. Harris, former best friend and assistant to Megan, was at a get-together at Kylie Jenner's house along with Megan and rapper Tory Lanez. There was an argument as the three were getting in a car to leave, and Megan got out, and she testified that she was walking away when Lanez told her to dance and shot toward her feet. Lanez says, though, he's innocent and that he's being set up. The judge isn't allowing any electronics in the courtroom, but the good news is Law and Crime senior reporter Megan Cuniff has been taking very detailed notes and bringing us what she saw and heard during testimony.
So she was testifying, but while she was testifying, she wanted to plead the fifth to when she was asked about Tory threatening to shoot her in the car before the car stopped and Megan got out and was shot. And she really didn't want to answer that question. She did confirm that Tory did threaten to shoot her, but when the prosecutor asked what he said, she asked if she could plead the fifth, and they said no, that she can't. And that was just really hard for her, you could tell. She really struggled with saying anything incriminating about Tory or just trying to say anything about him in any way. But the prosecutor really over a kind of painful couple hours tried to kind of press her about the fact that she was very candid about this back in September in a recorded interview that, of course, they were able to play for the jury. And she sounds a lot more candid about the shooting. And she's talking about how she saw Tory doing the shooting. She wouldn't get into that on the stand.
Co-host, legal analyst, former trial attorney Terry Austin's here with me now. Terry, most people have heard of pleading the fifth, but there is a lot more that goes into it than I just don't want to talk, right?
Well, exactly, Jesse. I mean, the Fifth Amendment provides the right to remain silent. It says no person shall be compelled in any, quote, criminal case to be a witness against himself. But like all laws, the Fifth Amendment is subject to interpretation by the courts, and the Supreme Court has expanded the right to remain silent to include interrogations, depositions, civil proceedings. So the setting doesn't affect the availability of the privilege as long as there is a threat of criminal liability. Now, Jesse, get this. That doesn't mean you can arbitrarily refuse to testify. The case law also states that the threat of future criminal prosecution must be, quote, reasonable and appreciable. So in a trial setting, that means the judge will determine whether you can assert the privilege. If the judge agrees that there's a real threat of future prosecution, then you can remain silent. But if the judge says no, then you could be compelled to testify. And if you refuse, you could be held in contempt. So there's a lot to consider.
There is. Terry, thanks for breaking that down. I think it's important for everybody to understand. But I should tell you, during her testimony, Harris told the Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney that there were things she wasn't entirely truthful about in the recorded interview. She testified that she has moved on with her life, that Megan spread rumors about her taking hush money, something that she denies ever being paid off, and she rebutted all attempts by the DA to press her into saying that she saw Tory Lanez shoot Megan. I'm here with co-host and public defender Brian Buckmeyer as well. I want to get your input on this. So this trial really took a turn when Kelsey Harris got on the stand, right?
Yeah, Jesse, Kelsey Harris was supposed to be the prosecution's star witness, and she was anything but. Her testimony left people speculating was she paid off. She testified to Tory Lanez offering her $1 million for a lawyer, but then she pled the fifth when asked if Tory Lanez threatened her. But how would that answer incriminate her unless it bleeds into what she did in response? So the question becomes, what did Kelsey say or do in response to being threatened by Tory Lanez? Add on top of that, she said that she told investigators back in September statements that were the bedrock of the prosecution's opening statements were now false. But at the end of the day, in this criminal case, it only matters what these 12 jurors think. And so far, I can't imagine they're all on the same page. And if they are, if they're not, that spells reasonable doubt that may lead to a hung jury or not guilty. I don't know if Tory Lanez is innocent or not, but that's not what the jury is deciding. It's deciding if the prosecution has proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And that, after Kelsey Harris' testimony,
I know that was lengthy, but I needed you guys to understand, and I needed you guys to hear what was going on with that. You get what I'm saying? Live on Broadway podcast. We here to talk about it. Marcy, how are you feeling today? I'm coming to you in a second, Clubhouse. How are you feeling today from yesterday? Any different? Because the tapes was played today in the case, and there's a lot of new info. I'm not going to say a lot of new information, but there's been some new information that's been let back in on the case, which is these tapes. Because after day day 3, they said that they couldn't, that they wasn't going to, I think it was day 2. They said they wasn't going to let the tapes in. And then day 3, they let Kelsey come up there, and they thought Kelsey was going to be their star witness. And Kelsey just ran kamikaze. She just remixed it and went up there and then took back a lot of things that she said, so forth and so on. So my question to you guys, I'll start with you first, Marcy, is how do you feel things are shaping up in the case thus far?
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that too. And at this point, I believe Kelsey's just out to protect Kelsey now. And yeah, she got immunity because obviously if she lies to the police and if they catch her lying, she can be held in contempt, which yes, she can be prosecuted for that. So, that's why she used immunity, but it's not looking good for anybody in this case. At the end of the day, somebody's going to be charged with something because there was obviously somebody who got shot.
Yep. Somebody got shot.
Somebody got shot. So, and Kelsey right now, she's protecting Kelsey, and that's it. Yeah. And why is she protecting Kelsey? I don't know, but I'm looking at Kelsey and going a little back on that. I was looking at both of their stories because I like to get to know the person.
Sure.
Too. And, Megan Kelsey was selling all her things. All her things. She left her apartment. She was getting rid of all her things because it was just all about her and Megan. So they were even going to get a house together, as what she stated.
So funny enough, right? Because I'm gonna play and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more. What up, though, Terrence? I appreciate you joining the stage. Shout out to Terrence. I see you, Lundria. Lundria, tap in with me. Allison, tap in with me. Clubhouse, go for it. How you guys feeling? Any new feelings on the case thus far from how you felt in previous days?
No, man, I'm pretty much going to wait till all the evidence come out and do my own deliberation. I understand, everybody's trying to talk about it now, but I'm going to wait till all the evidence come out and then do my deliberation.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, the interesting thing with that is regardless of whom or what, I've already given my predictions. Mistrial, right? However, the interesting part to it is there's new information that's constantly developing. And we're gonna play some of the correspondence between Nancy Dillon and Dennis Byron, because they've been also covering the case. And if I didn't make mention of it before, shout out to Law and Crime Network, because we definitely citing our sources. Shout out to Law and Crime Network. They definitely been covering the case, and I want to make sure that we give the credit where credit is due. Tap in with us. Allison, Lundria, how you ladies feel?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, it really hasn't changed. I'm interested in hearing, however, what more she has to say, because I feel like whatever she reveals, whether knowingly or unknowingly, I think it's going to, in a way, piece everything together and put the bullet points where they need. I didn't really mean to use that word, but put the bullet points right where they need to be as far as the storyline is concerned. So we have questions on the narrative. She may, with her story, reveal everything. So I'm excited to hear about that.
I think I'm more confused now than I was before, but I feel like, I think just leading up to the trial in general, like, we all see who did a lot of talking and we all see who was silent. I feel like there's a lot of probably protecting Kelsey on both sides, but I'm wondering, what is it for? So right now I'm just, I'm like Terrence. I really want to see what's going to happen when all this plays out, because I have a couple of, opinions on how it's going to play out, but I feel like you do, Broadway. I feel like it's going to be a mistrial, just because we were thinking that it was going to probably leading to a conviction with Tory Lanez, and I don't think that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think things are changing around, right? Because when everything happened, and respectfully, I understood why they said, especially the climate and when it all happened, a black woman said something, believe her. I understood that, right? It didn't it didn't make a certain amount of sense to me why they would say it, but I understood following Sandra Bland, following Breonna Taylor, just the climate. It made sense why that was being spewed out there. But as some time went on, it just didn't sit right with me that I should just be believing somebody because believing a certain gender because of their gender. Like, men lie, women lie. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because you said they did that shit don't mean that they did that shit. You gotta show me the proof. Like show it to me. You know what I mean? Don't just expect me to believe something because you said believe a black woman when something happens. So when Meg said that Tory shot her, I was a bit perturbed. I was like, wow. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. What's happening with you, Queen? Pull up. I was a bit perturbed. I was like, damn, Gina. But then I had to take a step back and ask myself, why did that happen? So I'm going to have a conversation with you guys and further the conversation and talk a little bit about what happened today. Live on Broadway podcast. Check it out. Where we at? All right, here we go.
All right, Friday morning session in the books at the Tory Lanez trial. Prosecutors played the recording from their interview with Kelsey back in September 2022. A lot of the jurors had heard a lot of that stuff before, but now they heard it on audio played on the courtroom speaker. Kelsey told the story. She gave a lot of details. You know, when you do a direct examination, you maybe don't go over all the details. When you sit down with police and they do your initial interview, they go over every single detail, and every single detail is on the recording. We got a lot of gossipy details, including that Odell Beckham Jr. was there at the party that night. Kylie Jenner at the front had up to 6 security guards checking people. A lot more. You can go my IG subscriptions. I give you all the gossip details. Let's get to the key part of the recording, and that's where Kelsey implicates Tory in the shooting and also makes statements about Tory putting out the idea that Kelsey denies taking any money, but she did acknowledge during the recorded testimony that statements were made to her that she could be paid. This was way back in 2020. As to the shooting, Kelsey said what prosecutors told the jury that she had told them before, which is that Tory was the shooter. They both got out of the car. Tory hopped into the front seat. He pulled a gun. He shot Megan.
So listen, let's talk about it. Kelsey took back all of what she said. Kelsey had a lot to say before she had immunity. And then she got immunity. And then her whole story switched. So my question to you guys is, what's up? And what's happening with you, CB? My question to you guys is which Kelsey do y'all believe? Kelsey before or Kelsey now? Tap in with me. Clubhouse first.
Kelsey now, because even though I feel like immunity only goes I believe it only goes so far, and she's on the stand. It's one thing to be giving, like, you know, your story to like them without being on the stand. It's another thing to be on the stand and giving your testimony and stuff. And people are known to switch up once they get up on the stand and everything. And I feel like because the pressure is on, I feel like now she's more forthcoming with what happened.
Wake that up. Wake it up. So long as you just said, I believe Kelsey now, opposed Kelsey then. We get into that, CB. We're going to get there. I promise you. We're going to talk about that. So shout out to CB on the YouTube comments. We definitely going to get to this. So my question, so Allison, Terrence, tap in with me, Terrence. I see you off.
Man, I look at it like this. When you think about immunity, immunity means that you didn't cut a deal. So you pretty much didn't cut a deal with the prosecutor to say what the prosecutor wants you to say. So when you look at those things and those situations like that, I'm going to go with the old Kelsey. So when you look at the evidence, like I said, again, I'm waiting on all the evidence to display itself before I make my deliberation.
Sure.
But going off of what you just played, you heard what Kelsey said, that he got out the back seat, got into the front seat, and shot her. So where's the bullet hole in the vehicle if he was in the vehicle to actually shoot her? So we have to pay attention to those things and see how they're trying to actually trip her up. Now, they probably don't even have her on any evidence, anything like that. But if you look at a prosecutor and you look at the detectives, you see how they pressure you and they kind of walk you into what they want you to say. And so once you say it, you can't take it back. This is on record. Well, we got you saying this. Well, no, you walked me through it. Technically, you had the choice to say, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
But instead, they walk you through it in order to cut a deal. That's just my 2 cents.
Nah, I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Terrence. Thank you for that. Marcy made me. Talk to me nice.
Okay, Kelsey now, because as we all know, people lied to the police, especially on the first report. They were going to stick to their story, and she went with that. So, and the majority of people lied on the first police report. That's a proven fact. However, when you're in front of a judge now, and now you can, if you lie, there's repercussions to that. So, she could have used that. I got confused. And then the whole fact that she's using immunity now she's speaking the truth, because now she could care less. However, if the judge asks her a direct question, she has to, only the judge can say that you have to answer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kelsey now. I don't believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Tap in with me, Reese. Chelsea now or Chelsea then? Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. And I really don't know much about either one of them.
Sure. So look, this is what I want to do, right? Just to bring you guys a little bit up to speed, because a lot happened today. There was the defense, Tory's team called the medical examiner, the person that did the surgery back to the what you call that box? Hello? What you call back to the witness stand, back to the thingamajig, the box that you sit in, that you sweat profusely when people are pointing the finger and saying you did that shit. So, like I said, Nancy Dillon and Dennis Byron has been covering this on Twitter, and I wanna tap in and get some of that commentary, some of those tweets out. So, babe, can you please help us, please, a little bit with Nancy Dillon? Nancy Dillon. What Nancy Dillon talking about?
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Says, good morning from day 5 of Tory Lanez trial alleging he shot Megan Thee Stallion. Judge ruled yesterday he allowed full audio of Kelsey Harris' 80-minute September interview with prosecutors. This is big because he previously excluded it after prosecutors only played a small portion on Wednesday. You want me to keep going? Okay. We only heard recording of Kelsey claiming Tory threatened to shoot her inside the SUV. We never heard a September account of allegedly seeing Tory with a gun. Prosecutors claim she was very detailed and said things like she wanted to speak the truth to free herself. And I had nothing to hide.
So hold on, wait. So am I understanding correct that this was before? This is Kelsey before, right? Saying that on the tapes that they wanted to admit it to evidence because Kelsey was saying allegedly the prosecution was going to use those tapes to say that I have nothing to hide, I want to speak my truth, so forth and so on. Correct?
If that was this current September 3 months ago, correct.
Well, no, I think I think they had that interview
because they're only saying September. They're not saying the year.
Okay. All right, cool. But before you continue on, there's another piece, because how did this tape get submitted into evidence? Because she went up on that stand and she started running kamikaze. Kelsey went up on that stand and started running, start doing a whole audible outside of what the prosecutors had planned for. But carry on, please.
The next message says, when she got on the stand.
Next tweet?
When she got on the stand, she disavowed her September statements, R.E. threat seeing Tory with a gun, being assaulted by Tory, or Tory offering her money / favors / lawyers. Her husband, Darian Smith, was with her in the court sitting next to her lawyer.
Whoa. Freeze frame. Who is Darian Smith? I bet you all want to know. I got y'all right now, live on Broadway podcast. We're going to get to this. We gonna get to this by hook or crook. You hear me? Live on Broadway podcast. Check it out.
To you guys who don't know, Kelsey has been posting a lot of stuff on Instagram, and something that most notably was posted was a picture with her baby daddy. Now, he actually goes by Draven Darian D-Boy Smith, aka D-Boy No Sleep, and again, he is a 1501 certified executive and also one of the top managers in Houston. Now, remember, Kelsey's husband, okay, he allegedly works for 1501, and so you guys know that Megan has been at odds with this label. I find it no coincidence that Kelsey all of a sudden had all this bad memory on the stand. And now all of a sudden, she is not remembering anything that happened. Now, to be fair, okay, during her September interview with prosecutors, her baby daddy was also there. So I want to be very transparent. So not only was he there when she incriminated Tory, okay, they were together.
Hold on, because I got questions. I got questions. So, homie, that's her baby father. Was her and the baby father together when she was fucking Tory? Were they together? Because they seem to be boo-boo kiddied up now. And the reason why I asked that question is because back when everything first happened, her baby father works for 1501. That's who Carl Crawford, that's who Megan was beefing with. That's who Megan wanted out of the deal with. So then Megan gets into a situation. Rock Nation come and get her out of that situation. Right? Do remember, Rock Nation got her out of that situation with Carl Crawford. And then as a byproduct of being let out of that situation, she gets and signs with Rock Nation's management. The plot gets a little bit deeper because Rock Nation was trying to sign Tory. Rock Nation. Tory got out of his situation, owned back his masters. She becomes part of Rock Nation. Tory is now at the Rock Nation brunch because, as I understand, that's where Megan introduced Tory to Kelsey. And Kelsey and Tory start having an entanglement. Right? And subsequently from there, it seems as though if I'm gonna pop off and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think Tory was trying to deal with Meg because she's his label mate to make sure everything goes through smooth with Rock Nation. I mean, what y'all tell me? I think there was gonna be some type of, before it went way left, I think between Tory and Meg being on Rock Nation and Rock Nation trying to sign Tory, and I heard Tory in that Rock Nation situation went south. But tap in with me. What do you guys think thus far? Tap in. Welcome to the stage, Toya.
It's a big old pot of gumbo mess. I didn't even know that Kelsey's kid's father worked with
1501.
Yeah, I had no idea. So the plot thickens. Yeah, the plot thickens. It's just wow.
I'm gonna play the rest of this. Go ahead, finish your point.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's cool.
No, it just seems like there's so many moving pieces that it makes you wonder like who's connected to who, and if there's like some underlying motive behind all of this. It doesn't seem real, honestly.
Sure.
Can I ask a question, Broadway?
Sure, go for it.
You know what's so crazy? Because I heard something like that earlier. I don't know, because they said, first they're saying that's actually her husband, the guy Darren.
I heard that
she's
too.
married to him.
I heard that too. But I've seen more speculation about the baby father, so I ain't want to put that out there like that. But I heard that too. Absolutely.
Okay.
No, it's cool. It's already out there. I mean, I heard that was her husband too. You get me?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to know, did you hear that? All right.
And we're gonna talk about this DAYSTAR. We're gonna talk about this DAYSTAR album in a second because I wish I could play some of these songs, but I can't. So let's get back to this clip because let's rewind it a little bit.
When she was in court, baby daddy was also there. So I want to be very transparent. So not only was he there when she incriminated Tory, okay, they were together when she was in court just a couple days ago. So
there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. They don't give a fuck if you 3 foot or 8'1". There's something going on outside with Tory, Meg, Kelsey. And I'm gonna jump off the portion. I'm gonna say this first. God damn it, I'm starting to think respectfully that might be somebody else there that shot that gun. There might be somebody else
I was
there.
thinking the same thing.
There might be somebody else there that shot that gun that they're trying to protect.
Yes, I agree.
Where is the Where's the driver? Anybody seen the driver? What Khaled said? Where's the lobster? Bring the lobster. Where's the driver? And why is the driver being so protected and ain't being subpoenaed to court? Where's the driver? Anybody know? Anybody got a GPS Apple tag on his location? Tap in. Yeah, let's continue reading on, please. Yes.
All right, the next tweet says, Smith, when it was referring to Darian Smith, is a music manager in Houston affiliated with Carl Crawford and 1501. The label battling Megan in court over a contract she's called unconsolable. Jurors heard most of Kelsey's statement. It's intense and incredibly detailed. Kelsey carefully describes the shooting blow by blow, alleging it happened immediately after Tory ordered his driver to stop the SUV because he wanted Megan and Kelsey ejected from the vehicle. Kelsey stated, and I quote, "I get out of my side and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off. I looked up, maybe about a second or third gunshot. You see Tory, he's now in the front seat. I guess he must have jumped over in smooth transition and he's leaning over the door."
What?
He's shooting over the top of the door. He was leaning over the front passenger door.
This is what Kelsey's saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Leaning over the passenger door and he was shooting the gun. Megan was walking away when this happened, but by the third or fourth shot, she was facing towards us. I would describe it as like a deer in headlights. The way Tory was angling the gun, it wasn't like straight. It was like down, definitely in her direction. She didn't hear him say anything. She told the prosecutors during the September 14th, 2022 interview that she largely disavowed during her live testimony this week. That's all.
We're gonna get there. Trust me, CB. We're gonna get there. We getting there. Shout out to the YouTube viewership. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Tap in with us. Subscribe to the channel. Live on Broadway Podcast. That was a lot. So Kelsey is saying that what Kelsey and Meg is saying sounds totally different. Because Kelsey is saying that Meg says that when she got out the car, Tory got out with her, I believe. Am I understanding that correct? Isn't that what Meg said? Then Meg said, Meg got out the car. Tory went behind her to bring her back to the car. He went, because that wasn't the first time. That's what happened. She got out the car. He said whatever. He got out behind her, said whatever, got her to get back in the car. Tell. Let me see if I can find this. I can't do that right now. If you recall something, tell us or don't say it. All right, that's fine. All right, so look, guys, tap in with us. What do you guys recall? Are we leaving anything out?
No.
Because there's clearly more to this story, and I can clearly remember what Kelsey and Meg is saying is sitting on opposite sides.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it, Allison.
So who paid for Kelsey's lawyers? Did Tory pay for it? And is that the reason why she all of a sudden may be switching sides or saying things that that look like they are going against him?
Going against him? Going against Tory?
Yeah.
She's not. Yes. I don't think what she's saying is going against Tory. I think she's recanting. A lot of things that she said, and is going against a lot of things that Megan says. So it questions what Megan is, what she's been saying. Now, because thus far we haven't heard from Tory. Tory hasn't taken a stand. Tory's only spoken through his music and that little live that he did. But he ain't give no specific details. So we don't know what Tory is saying.
Right.
We don't know what Tory's saying. But we know it's because it's the prosecution. They're defending themselves. So Tory don't have to take that stand unless the prosecution, I'm not sure how this part works, so excuse my naivete. Does Tory have to take the stand I don't think the prosecution want Tory to take the stand unless the defense called Tory to the stand because that's his side. Am I understanding that correct? Am I right inside saying that? They said she said last time she got out of the car, but shot from the window. Gotcha. You know what I think?
Can I say something on that?
Go for it, Queen.
Okay. On her interview that she did, okay? I'm going to go back to that interview she did. She stated...
Megan or Kelsey?
Megan, I'm sorry.
Okay.
She stated that she was in the front seat. Now, I like forensics very much so, and she's sitting in the front seat, and she said the two people in the back, which is Tory and Kelsey, right? She didn't say names, but she said the two people in the back. This argument was getting worse or more heated, whatever words she used. At that point is when she told the driver, pull over because she was tired of it. She got off the vehicle. That's when she again states, I probably should have never got back in the vehicle, realizing how bad it was getting in the back. Mm-hmm. However, she got back in the vehicle. So the forensics right here does not match with anything, I'm sorry, any of them are saying.
Check this out. Live on Broadway podcast. Hold on.
Like,
this is Meg.
I'm so over this shit.
This is the original statement.
And y'all gotta know, I am the nicest, the most calm, just cool ass woman. Like, I don't be fucking with nobody. I don't do nothing to nobody. But y'all motherfuckers really dragging it. Like, I tried to just be cool, stay out the way, because at the end of the day, I'm really a real bitch. Like, I'm from Houston. I'm from the motherfucking South Side. It ain't like let me go run and tell my business to the motherfucking internet. Let me go run and tell my business to the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been that type of person. Like,
80,000 people watching this.
I'm not gonna let y'all keep playing in my face. And I'm not gonna let this nigga keep playing in my face either. So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it. You really fucking dragging it. Motherfuckers talking about I hit this nigga. I never hit you. Motherfuckers was like, oh, she mad because he was trying to fuck with Kylie. No, I wasn't. Like, you dry shot me. Like, everybody in the car, it's only 4 motherfuckers in the car. Me, you, my homegirl, and your security. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat. This nigga in the back seat. I get out the car. I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This nigga from out the back seat of the car started shooting me. You shot me. I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they saying that. When the police, because the people in the neighborhood, there's a witness. When the police came, because the neighbors called the police. This did not happen at Kylie's house. This happened damn near back at the house I was staying at. I was just trying to get home. We was 5 minutes away from my spot. The police come. I'm scared. All this shit going on with the police is shooting motherfuckers for anything. The police was literally killing black people for no motherfucking reason. Soon as the police tell us all get out the motherfucking car, the police is really aggressive. You think I'm about to tell the police that we, niggas, us black people, got a gun in the car?
I honestly think that Meg don't know who shot her. I said this before and I'm going to say it again. This is a perfect example of when a little white lie or something small becomes something bigger than you could have ever imagined. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but either there was another shooter, either Kelsey shot Meg, or Tory shot Meg. But that witness said that they saw, I think his name is Sean, it escapes me. Sean is going to come back to me. I got you. Sean,
black people.
No, I'm sorry. What's this guy's name? Sean, what's this guy's name? Sean Kelly. He said that he saw two girls. No, he said that he saw a gunshot and the fire come from closer to a woman than it was a man. Right? That's what he said, right? This ain't new news. This is what's been going on for a little minute.
Right.
So on top of that, I want to wake up and get into this whole situation with the medical person that did the surgery that they called back to the stand. Can we talk about and get into this Dennis Byron tweet, please? Because I definitely want to talk about that because Dennis Byron had a lot to say, and I want to wake that up. You ready for me?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
Just an hour ago, Dennis Byron announced that the DNA on the gun was inconclusive.
Hold on, wait. Let's read that upside down because that's the way it goes. We're gonna read this upside down. We're gonna wake it up because Dennis Byron's definitely been following the case just like Nancy Dillon.
Okay, he also said breaking news update: prosecutors have already played a majority of the bombshell interview of Kelsey Harris and how the assault happened against Meg Thee Stallion and against her at the hands of rapper Tory Lanez. Trial update: Tory Lanez defense attorney has called their first expert witness. Mark Taylor is a DNA expert who just testified that Tory's DNA was not found on the firearm. However, they did find a woman's DNA on the gun. Dennis also said,
hold on. Gotta freeze frame on shit like that. Because the DNA that was on the gun was a woman's DNA. So did they not take Kelsey's DNA to be able to discern whose DNA it was? Because if it was a woman, it was only 2 women there. Allegedly. But carry on.
This is in contrast to the prosecutor's DNA expert who testified earlier that Tory's DNA was inconclusive. Defense witness has conducted over 3,500 DNA tests, while the prosecutor's expert has done barely half that many DNA tests. Prosecutors have not rested their case. However, because of defense witness had a scheduling issue, judge allowed them to call their expert witness early. Then the last update says the DNA on the gun was inconclusive.
Inconclusive. What does that mean? Inconclusive means that they can't say that it was his or if it wasn't his because it's inconclusive. They don't know.
It was not his.
Why you say it wasn't his?
They would have definitely said it's DNA is DNA. I mean, a little drop when they go collect samples of DNA. I mean, just a little swab. I mean, a hair follicle. So inconclusive means we don't know. It was not. I mean, they're trying to make it look like it was him, but he can't say that because it's not, or it would be a definite.
I don't think Tory want to tell. I don't think he want to rat. I think he doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in that situation. I think you staying mum's the word and you letting it play out in court. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what happened? All right, cool. I'm going to the pen. Let me get my phone call. Don't say nothing. Wait for my attorney to come. I just want a lawyer. I don't want the fake, you gonna let me out. If I tell you, just give me my lawyer. That's it. Let it play out. They also said nothing wasn't. They also said it's not saying it wasn't his. So wake that up. That's a fair assessment. They also saying that they not saying that it was his. They not saying that it wasn't his. They saying that it was inconclusive. Nobody knows. But for something as big as this, there's way too many holes in it. Somebody was shot. Meg was shot. Where's the ballistics? Where's the bullet at? Oh, I don't know. It wasn't admitted into evidence. They don't got it. They don't have it. The DNA, inconclusive. Tory's, Megan is saying this. Kelsey is saying that. I really want to know what this witness is going to say. There's way too many holes in this shit. Way too many holes in this. Tap in if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Tap in. Hit that like button. Tap in with us. You heard? Live on Broadway podcast. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Tap in with us. Drop us a Cash App. Drop us a super chat. Tap in with us if you're enjoying the podcast. Show your social currency. We appreciate you guys in advance. Live on Broadway podcast. There's a lot.
I'm interested in.
Go for it. Go for it, Queen.
No, I just wanted to say I'm interested in knowing what kind of sample they use for DNA because for a DNA sample, it's inconclusive because maybe not enough of the elements were able to be tested in order for there to be a definitive response, yes or no. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like there's like taking a pregnancy test. It's not enough urine to detect HCG. So it's kind of like, that's why you have to take a blood test to get a final result. So I'm really interested in knowing what kind of DNA they're using for the samples.
So I wonder, and I'm looking to you guys for answers for this, right? Tap in with us if you got more info. If your fingerprints is on something, fingerprints not DNA, right? That's just your fingerprint, correct?
Correct.
However, it would still have, because we have oils in our hands, and they can pick up DNA from there.
Like
we
sweat.
all have oil.
Like sweat, right?
Yes.
Like sweat is
glands, exactly.
But so even if his fingerprint, that would be a dead on, and even his sweat is, you have DNA there too. So.
But even still, as far as if you do not get a complete and total example of the fingerprint, then that can also be deemed inconclusive if you only get half of a fingerprint or a quarter of a fingerprint and not the whole entire fingerprint to identify the person.
So what you're waking up, Allison, is a partial fingerprint, but fingerprints don't have nothing to do with DNA unless you have sweat on your hand that's directly correlated to your DNA.
Correct. DNA is usually body fluids. Yes.
All right. Cool. Live on Broadway podcast. Let me play this one more clip. Check it out.
Now, yesterday I was talking about Meg bought Kelsey a place. Now, one of the people who has been watching my videos, they sent me a message, and I kind of looked into this, and a lot of people have said the same thing. Now, I want to shout out to Erin Stacy. She said Meg told her to break her lease and leave all of her furniture to move to L.A. because she was getting them a house. She had been in L.A. with Meg for 2 weeks in that Airbnb. After the shooting, she got her a spot 2 weeks later because she felt bad Kelsey was homeless. So after that's going on, Kelsey don't got nowhere to stay. So Meg felt bad for her and bought her a place after the shooting in 2020. Now, I'm not going to reach and say Meg bought her a place so she can kind of go along with her story in the future. But I will say it's still an example of she's gotten favors from Meg after the shooting. It might not have been a bribery. They were best friends. Maybe she didn't want her to be homeless. Sure. But I wanted to give y'all an update on that.
That's an interesting piece right there. Because when everything happened, I think Kelsey had to get out their house. So if they're saying that if Tory paid for Kelsey's attorney, well, homie was just waking up was saying that Kelsey had needed a place to stay and Meg had got her a place to stay after the shooting. Now, you don't need to say, I'm going to give you this we get into a beef with somebody, I'm going to help you out. That's my subtle way of wanting you back on my side. But then how does all the beef happen after that between the shots fired track that Meg put out against Kelsey, and then Kelsey comes back with busting back? How does that ensue? How do we go from Meg getting you a place to Meg putting out a diss track against Kelsey? Was there anything that happened after that? Do you guys recall? I'm talking about from the point of after the shooting. Where did the beef go wrong between? Where did the lines get crossed? Because they was both fucking Tory?
You know what? Can I say something on that too?
Go for it, Quinn.
Before I had that on my notes here. When Kelsey sold everything, because obviously Megan and Kelsey were going to get a house together. She continues to emphasize that. I didn't know she already had got her the house, but two girls getting a house together, come and live with me, there's got to be something more than just friendship there. I'm sorry. If I'm going to move in with my girlfriend and I leave my husband and I leave everything behind for her? Being honest.
The funny thing is while all this is happening, Meg is still, I mean, Kelsey's baby father. Here's an interesting angle. Check this out. So, how did Tory meet Kelsey? Anybody? How did Kelsey meet Tory?
They all met at that party that incident or that plays that you were talking about earlier.
Rock Nation, the Rock Nation brunch, right?
Yeah, they all met. All of them met that place.
Check this out. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I know how this go. A lot of times, you moving around, you in a situation, you might meet somebody through somebody. How do you think Kelsey, just if you was a betting woman, a betting man, how do you think Kelsey met her baby father or her estranged or allegedly her husband? How do you think that happened? Through Megan. Because Meg had the situation with Carl Crawford. That's her best friend. So through that being her best friend, she probably was like, yo, girl, woo, 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 woo. They going out, they doing things. One thing lead to a next. Because if Meg is already establishing her situation and she about to get to a bag, I fucking bet you Kelsey was like, shit, I ain't gonna be the only bitch out here without getting to a bag. I'm about to fuck me up. I'm about to fuck on a real nigga that got some bread too. Hello? I'm about to fuck on a nigga that got a bag too. I'm trying to secure my situation. I'm trying to secure it. So here's my hot take. Because Meg said me and Kelsey was doing everything together, right? Remember that? So if Meg and Kelsey was doing everything together, and Meg traditionally, allegedly, has fucked around on a lot of the same dudes that Kelsey was fucking around with. In that order, it was Kelsey's first. Then Meg came around second. Would it be that far off to think that Meg done probably fucked with her baby father before somehow, some way? I'm just saying.
Why not?
I'm just saying. Birds of a feather flock together. They both was outside doing whole shit. Well, no, I'm not going to say whole shit. Easy on the whole shit. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem, because when you think about it, Meg invited Tory to that pool party at Colley's. When it was time to go, before it was time to go, I'm assuming Kelsey probably saw Kylie flirting and Tory flirting with each other. Meg got belligerent and forgot that she forgot her player card and saying, I'm fucking on this bitch behind my bitch back. I'm fucking on this nigga behind my bitch back. So why am I getting jealous for? Kelsey didn't seem to be getting jealous. When it was time to go, Meg wanted to go back for the shoe to get Tory. Meg wanted to go back to get Tory. Tory stayed. So Meg got caught up in her feelings for some unapparent reason, because that wasn't, and that's what that part we know for a fact. That Meg got caught up in. Meg wanted to go back, get Tory. Tory leaves shortly thereafter. Meg leaves. And then, as a byproduct of that, now they in the car, they all yelling, bitches, hoes, fuck. Meg taking shots, Tory saying whatever he's saying about, well, I was fucking Kelsey and Kelsey, whatever. Y'all know what happened. We trying to put this shit together. I mean, are we that far off? Because it sounds like Moti, what's happening with you, King? Welcome to the stage. How you feel about it, Marcy? Tap in with us.
I'm just saying, I don't see why Tory would even pull a gun out on Meg or even shoot her because he has a lot to lose. I don't know. She even said she don't know who really shot her. She was walking away with her back. So I don't know.
That's the confusing part to me. But I think a lot of us traditionally have questioned that piece in itself. Even if you haven't overtly said it, you questioned that part to yourself. You said to yourself, if she was walking away, and she said she was walking away, how does she know who shot her? Huh? How do you know who shot her?
You know the sad part is a lot of females lie, man. A lot of brothers get caught up from bitches lying, straight up.
What? All right, so I see that, right? I don't know if Tory, I can't 100% call her a liar yet, right? I think, excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. I can say she's a liar. Did Tory shoot her? I don't know. It doesn't, the evidence and what she's saying, it doesn't fit the pieces to the puzzle to me. It don't fit. So I can't say that, go for it, Moti.
No, there was a post about some specialist said that they found a female DNA on a gun, not a male. So I don't know how credible that post was.
So look, right? I see this right here, right? Trey said, of course she couldn't see who shot her, but maybe because he said dance bitch. She knew his voice. But then Kelsey comes back and says on the stand, now where did that come from? Kelsey saying that didn't happen. Kelsey saying that nobody said dance bitch. So I refer back to the previous statement. If you're walking away, how do you know? To be honest with you, I don't know if you guys ever been prepared for trial, right? I've gone to trial. I've beat trial, right?
Oh, I've been to trial.
Your lawyers are getting you ready for trial. Your lawyer's getting you ready for trial. So what happens is it's not just you going there, they ask you a bunch of questions, yada, yada, yada. You sitting on the stand, and before you go out there, there's a lot of preparation for trial. There's a lot of preparation for that. Yes. So that's not something that happens by happenstance. So what I think is maybe inside of being prepared for the trial, they kept saying, if you walked away, if you was walking away, how did you know, Tory, how do you know who shot you? How do you know? They kept coming up and needed a theory to come up with that. So what happens? Meg didn't always say from the beginning it wasn't dance bitch. That came out later. We learned about the dance bitch later. Way later.
But even if Tory...
Hold on, King. Like a year later. Maybe later than that. I can't put no exact time on it. But we learned about the dance bitch way later after she said I was walking away, whatever. So what I think is, inside of being prepped for the case, they needed to come up with something that needed to say, that needed to aid and stop the bleating of the, how did you know who shot you? So when Trey says she recognized the voice, I think that's what they intended. That was their intended purpose of that. It's chess, not checkers. When you move there, I'm going to make sure I got 3 more moves ahead of you because I can see that this may be a possibility. Not checkers, chess. What you said, Moti? Tap in with me, King.
I was just saying, even if he did say dance bitch, that doesn't necessarily mean that he pulled the trigger or even had the gun. He could have said it because he seen what was about to happen. Homegirl pulled out or something. You know what I mean?
I don't think that. I don't think you say dance bitch and you didn't shoot. Yeah, I'm not.
Hey man, you You don't know niggas that be edging motherfuckers on, like they see what's gonna happen and they just add comments and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, so here's the thing, right? There's been some outlandish things said about the DNA, right? Like I heard I heard on one outlet they said that, well, if there was only a woman's DNA, maybe Tory shot her and then he wiped the gun off and then another woman picked it up. No.
Yo, man.
No. I don't particularly hold on, King. I don't particularly think the outland, like, it gotta make sense. If you screaming dance bitch, I would think, like, realistically, I would think you holding the gun shooting at somebody, you saying dance bitch. I don't think somebody else is shooting the gun and you're saying, and you're hyping that person up screaming, yeah, I don't see it, like the functionality of being in a situation like that. It sounds fun. If the pieces don't fit right there for me. Like the person saying that, hold on, I got you guys. Like the person saying, well, he wiped the DNA. He ain't have on no shirt. Tory didn't have on no, so, and I'm just saying, what's up? Hold on. So what I'm saying is Tory didn't have on a shirt. I don't see him. I don't believe in that. Like, I don't believe in what you saying, Multi. I think it's a little too far-fetched. But tap in, go for it, Multi. Then throw it to Marcy.
No, I'm just saying because I would be that guy to, like, troll or edge somebody on to do some shit, even though I didn't do it.
But to shoot a woman?
No. So
I
that
think he
alone
means
sounds
making
false.
a joke.
So that alone sounds false because I don't think he would say that or have a girl shot. You know what I'm saying?
Go for it, Marcy. Tap in with me, Queen.
Okay, let's go with that little scenario that maybe he said it. Okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. However, if I'm a female and if I'm going to shoot somebody and I'm going to say the same exact thing, I'm not going to miss. Okay? And you wouldn't have got bullet fragments. Okay? Let's make that clear. Okay? It wasn't the whole bullet. It was fragments.
5 shots that led to fragments. 5 shots. So
5 shots directly at her. And you got fragments. They didn't ricochet because, let me tell you, my uncle got shot like that. And it ricocheted. He still had the bullet in him, the whole bullet. Not fragments. It had to have been somewhere in the car. And I'm going to go back to the original police report where the witness states he saw 2 males fighting with the female with closed fists. I had to go back and read that again. And I'm thinking, why would 2 males be hitting a female with closed fists or fighting her if it wasn't to maybe take a gun away from her?
So Marcy, if the goal was to shoot her, why wasn't any actual bullets in her foot? I said it. I believe I said it yesterday that.
I think I really believe.
Hold on, Marcy. Allison, you wasn't finished. You stopped mid-sentence. Continue your point.
I believe what I said yesterday was that they were shooting at, or somebody shot, I'm not going to say allegedly, was shooting at the floor, which is why there are bullet fragments and not actual bullets.
Okay.
Because if you're shooting at the floor, it's going to ricochet. That is indeed correct. But what I'm hearing is that the actual target was Megan herself. Is that what you're saying, Marcy?
Yes, that's exactly what she said. She said he got over the vehicle, so he was not in front of the vehicle, okay? He was on top coming through the window, okay? Through the window on top of the car and shooting that way. So I want to understand how you got shot on the bottom of your feet if this guy is on top, straight at the target. I mean, I go shooting all the time. I'm going to hit my target.
Maybe they were shooting at the floor, though, Marcy.
From the top of the car?
I mean, it's possible to shoot.
And you only get fragments?
I think that's possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Very, very, very hard. But I feel like something went off in the car. And if
he's not a marksman.
Hold on, Allie. Finish your point, Marcy.
If because I've seen a lot of vehicles with fragments throughout, and I've seen the people with the fragments, and I'm not saying it's absolute didn't happen, but if I'm coming above the vehicle, just put yourself in that place, okay? And she's a big woman. She's not a little petite little thing. Okay? She would have got shot either on a higher, but from the top.
Maybe, but Marcy, maybe that was maybe the foot was, all right. So just realistically speaking, whoever shot at Megan, I don't think they was intending to shoot her at all. I don't think that was.
I believe that at all.
I don't think they was intending to shoot her, and I think it was supposed to be, I got this gun, I'm going to shoot at you, and then startle your ass, and just, crazy as it sounds. Because a woman shouldn't even
very
be
possible.
A woman shouldn't. Yes. A woman or a man. Hold on. A woman or a man shouldn't even be being shot at. Period. So as crazy as it sounds, right? It's somebody shot at Meg. I don't think they was intending to shoot her. So the foot being shot, I think even to go to the furthest extent, I think Meg still wanted to hold it down. I think Meg don't know who shot her. Hold on, I got you, Marcy. I think Meg don't know who shot her, but she wanted to hold it down and just be like, all right, I got shot. It's messed up. I don't know who shot me, but cool. It is what it is. And then for whatever reason, Tory people, because there's that side too. But it's all fruit from a poison tree, because we don't know if Tory people actually start leaning on Meg. We don't know that to be a fact. We know that because that's what Meg said. But Meg done lied before, so how do we know? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So hold on just 1 second, right? Because I see Trace put something in the comment. She said, not the SUV. She said, so pants don't work to wipe things off or items in a car. Yes, it does. All I'm saying is if something is wiped off, right? If something is wiped off in that type of situation, you gotta be, and I listen, I've been in situations. You gotta wipe that shit off and then put it where? How do a woman DNA get on it? A woman picked it up? I don't personally, I don't see that. I don't see it. I don't.
He would have had it all over his body, though. If he would have been shooting that, it would have been over his body, his neck, his face.
It goes back
his
to
body.
That conclusion.
It would be everywhere. Because I know after you go shooting, you got to make sure you wash yourself all the time. Very good, because it's everywhere on you.
And then hold on, and then there's that, because if he shot her, then the GSR would be. I think that's the way you say it, right? I think those the acronyms for it.
Yes, gunshot residue.
Yeah, the GSR would be predominantly on him. And it was predominantly on her. And a bit of it was on him. We don't know. Live on Broadway podcast. Let's wrap up and go to final thoughts. Oh man, jump in the comment section on YouTube, tap in with us, and leave your commentary to your final thoughts on tonight, day 5, Live on Broadway podcast. Meg Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, a lot going on. Tap in with us. Clubhouse, I'm gonna go to you first. Tap in with us, Clubhouse.
Today was a lot. Today was, and it was a lot of information to take in. I think that is going to develop as the days go by, and I do agree that there are some things that we're going to see being revealed.
Sure.
So I just want, like I've said before, I just want this to be over in a way where it benefits everybody and that there's some peace, because that is of utmost importance.
Solid. Solid as a rock. Toya, final thoughts, Queen. A lot's going on. Meg Thee Stallion. I ain't even getting to his whole DAYSTAR album. I'm going to talk about that later because I'll add a little bit in my final thoughts. My bag. Toya, tap in with us, Queen.
Honestly, like, this is just such a mess. And I'm going to keep it real. Like, to go back to what Multi said a few minutes ago, like, about, someone else saying it. Like, I've seen situations where people got into it, and there was always a clown or a troll in the background saying some funny, fucked up shit. Excuse my French, but it is what it is. Yeah. And I think that their relationship, it should have been better than what it is now. It shouldn't even got to this far. Like, and I think they got in an argument. They was mad with each other, and she had the access to the gun, and she was like, "Damn, bitch, I think Kelsey shot her, to be honest. I really do, because why would you ask for immunity? Like, what is there so much that you can say that can get you convicted of something? What crime did you actually commit?" So, yeah, it's a mess, and I'm just sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen.
And then there's that part. Shout out to Allison on the bench. I appreciate the badges being purchased. Thank you, Allison Queen. Thank you. Tap in with us. I appreciate that, Allie. Oh man. But yes. None of us was there that night. But we know what makes sense and we know what does not. Toya, you said you understand what Multi's saying. Somebody say some dumb shit. I guess it is. I don't see that in my head, though. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen that way. I don't take anything away from it. In my head, I can't see it, though. But there's always the part two. Why was she asking for immunity if she was the innocent person? But immunity doesn't cover what you call that when you lie on this perjury. When you stand on a stand and you lie and you got immunity. If that comes out, we all know the outcome. She's going to be
prosecuted.
We all know what's the outcome of that. Laundry, final thoughts, Queen. Final thoughts. I appreciate you pulling up tonight.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I still feel the exact same way I felt before. I'm very confused. This trial can go either way, but I agree with what LaToya said. I don't understand the reason of why Kelsey would need immunity, but I feel like I said before, I feel like she's being protected on both sides. I agree with what you said before about, how did she see who shot her? She was walking away and everything. There's so many holes. And I think even after discussing it today, we sound like what the jury is probably going to sound like when they deliberate when this is all over. And it's probably going to be a mistrial because there's just so many holes and it's a lot that they're going to have to prove and stuff. And, yeah, that's where I land with that.
I know that's right, girl.
Listen, it's a mess. It's a mess. I think I played in one of the clips I played, it's the defense job to cause reasonable doubt. It's not the prosecutor side to prove whether or not Meg was shot. It's not, they know she was shot. Everybody knows she was shot. That's not up for debate. Tap in with us, Multi. Final thoughts, King. Final thoughts, Multi.
I'm just saying, if I was in Tory's fucking status, why would I jeopardize everything I got going? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. And that fragment shit, like people saying, they could be just shooting on the ground to try to scare her or even fucking pull some dumb prank. Who knows? But the shit happened, and that's what it is.
Oh, man.
Because fucking drugs and alcohol make people do stupid shit.
That's what I was going to combat what you said with. What's up, Allie?
I was going to ask, do we know the charges that are being brought against Tory? Is it gun possession, attempted? Like, what are the charges?
That's an easy pull up. And Nev, give us your final thoughts, King. I'll do my best to pull it up. And Nev, what up, though, beloved? How you feel, King?
What up, my guys? I don't know. I think this whole situation is a little weird. Because of the fact that Meg don't recollect when she was on stand. She didn't recollect a lot of things. She said, "I don't know," through a lot of different situations. So that was a little weird to me. And then when Kelsey spoke, she spoke. It was like she was trying to just attack Meg. Because she was just saying, like, Meg was lying and she really a drunk. She really didn't remember nothing. And she basically combated everything Meg said. Everything Meg was saying on the stand, Kelsey said, no, that wasn't true. We left. Yep. You don't even remember us leaving and coming back. You know what I mean? And it was just, like, so much stuff that she was saying. I don't know. Kelsey made it believable that Meg don't really know who shot her. That was the hard part for me. Like, Megan, her story didn't collaborate none of the stuff that she felt. Like, why did he shoot her? She couldn't say none of that. She just said, I don't know. Through the whole thing most of the time. I don't know. So I don't know.
The crazy part about it is in that whole situation, and I know y'all all gonna feel me on this. If we're looking at who has the motive, right? Let's just strip away everything else. Let's just think about who has the motive. Wouldn't it be Kelsey? Kelsey just learned that Meg was fucking Tory. Meg and Kelsey start getting into a beef. What would be Tory's motivation to shoot?
Because she was talking all that mess about him. Now people get hot-headed.
About insulting his music, though?
Listen, it was said she was just running off at the mouth.
I mean, listen.
I heard little people have a complex, so.
I was about to say, let's not act like Tory don't have a history of jumping to the gun for anything. Remember, he just popped August Alsina. So he's a hothead. I
would have popped him too, though. The fuck? August.
Kelsey's a hothead too, though.
But hold on a second, right? I mean, again, I know we don't know, so I'm not gonna say what you guys are saying is any less valid than what I'm saying. I just feel like Kelsey would have the motive to. This is some and Kelsey's Meg has done this several times before with Kelsey. You know, all right, go ahead. Marcy, one mic on Marcy. Marcy, hey, Queen, how you? Thank you for your patience, Queen. Final thoughts on Marcy.
I don't know. Everything to me points at Kelsey. She had nothing to lose. Tory and Megan had more to lose, but Kelsey really didn't have anything to lose. And it looked like at that point they were fighting. You know, Megan was beating on her or her on Megan. She saw, we were going to get a house together. I done everything and lost everything for this girl, and she's taking everything. So why not?
Hey, listen, right? And I know some of you guys probably can't relate. Viewership, listenership, y'all probably can't relate to this. Some of y'all probably can. It's hard to see things from a criminal's mindset when you've been a civilian your whole life. You think you're street smart, but when in situations you can't really You can't put it together like that and that fast. But when you've been on both sides of the fence, you can see things a little bit differently. You know how they say, you know how parents be saying, you're a parent, you don't know until you become a parent. Then once you become a parent, parents be seeing things different from other people. But the people people that don't be parents be having a good idea of what's going on. Y'all know, we all know that, right? Cool. I'm not saying it's exactly like that, but what I'm saying is Tory might have got hot-headed. Let's play the other side to it out. Final thoughts on Broadway. I'm sorry, Marcy, will you finish?
Yeah, and I also saw, some of the attorneys saying Kelsey is a hot hit witness. That's what they're calling her, a hot hit witness.
I heard opposite. I've heard that she conducted herself with poise and a certain amount of decorum while being on that stand. I didn't hear she was being crazy.
No. She was not being crazy. She's considered a hot hit witness.
Gotcha.
But not there. She's very composed and using immunity. I mean, come on.
I got you. Final thoughts on Broadway. I think that when you've been on both sides, you see things a little bit different in those type of situations because you know how they can really play out, right? I'm not putting my business out there, but all I'm saying is Kelsey, Tory, Meg. Somebody shot Meg. This could be a game. This could be a game that probably gets snatched off the, what you call them? Not Ringling Brothers. What you call the people that make the games? What you call them? Something brothers, something bros, Hasbros. Y'all be talking, y'all be acting like I'm slow sometimes. Hasbros, right? This is a game that could be considered who shot Meg? Who shot Meg? Because, nobody knows. Meg was definitely shot, though. And it's sad and unfortunate that a woman was shot. I'm still in all over that. But alcohol, egos, hurt, too much of that will lead to, unfortunately, somebody being shot. Allison, maybe you could pull up the charges because what's coming up on my side, I can't find it. I'll yield back to you when I'm done. Tempers get involved. Egos get involved. Maybe he did it. Maybe Tory shot Meg. Maybe he didn't. But the worst part about it is, check this out. And hopefully you guys feel me on this. The worst part to it isn't whether or not who shot Meg. That's not the worst part to this. The absolutely worst part to this is if Meg doesn't know who shot her and she's placing the blame on the wrong person. That's the absolute worst part to this.
It was a hot gun, so it could have been anybody.
Tap in with us, Allison. Final thoughts on charges on Allison, if you able to find it, Queen.
I said, so this is a real problem. He's being charged with assault with a semi-automatic firearm and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. He's also being charged with a felony of discharging a firearm with gross negligence. So, yeah, that's a problem. Because you're carrying a weapon and it's loaded.
You know what else is a problem?
What?
Why he's not being charged with attempt murder?
Because they can't prove the injuries came from the firearm. That's why. So it is basically assault.
So let me ask you something, right? Because that don't make sense to me neither. And we're going to wrap this up in a second. How were you charged with the gun? How were you charged with firing a gun? That's the part of the charges you said, right?
Yeah.
You sure those the charges? This is important.
Yes.
Okay. Because how were you charged for firing a gun? Well, I guess you're charged with it. Doesn't mean you did it. You got it. All right, cool. But how are you not charged with attempt murder if, because that would be the charge. She didn't die. You shot at her. That's attempt murder. How are you not charged with that? Why wasn't he charged with that from day one? You talk over me and then I stop and then you stop. Go ahead, Allie. Nothing? All right, Live on Broadway podcast. We're going to wrap this episode. I appreciate everybody tapping in with us. Shout out to you, Marcy. Shout out to Allison, Toya, Laundry Emoti. Shout out to my guy, NF, that pulled up earlier. Shout out to CB. I seen CB on the YouTube. Shout out to Zay. Shout out to Trey11208. Shout out to Sasseries. Y'all know the vibe, man. I appreciate the badges, Allie. Y'all know the vibe, man, how we give it up. Shout out to Reese also that pulled up on Instagram. Great podcast, great podcast. It's cheaper to be yourself. Be giant. You heard? Boom! Clear!
You have relationship questions you need answered? Spicy topics? DM us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Have music, products, or an ad you want us to run? Email us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Be sure to tap in. Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live on IM_Broadway's Instagram. Clear.